Hi, Pat the Podcast Editors here. Wow. 100 episodes of the Business Anchors podcast. Arguably a more important milestone than the Platinum Jubilee. England winning the World Cup in '66, and Knowlton hiring their newest video editor, Callum. Well, in today's episode, we reflect on some of the best segments from our beloved podcast.
I don't actually even really remember because I feel like every time this story's told or we go over it again, I just delete it from my mind because it's the cringiest thing ever.
Well, Lloyd, let's refresh your memory.
Oh, brilliant.
We hear about the most unethical thing Lloyd has ever done.
Oh, great. So, been cringing about how cringy I am.
Yeah.
And now we'll hear about what a terrible person I am.
Yes.
Okay, let's roll the clip.
And Dan imparts his favourite knowledge nugget he's ever dropped on the podcast.
There was some really useful stuff in that. And because it's not a funny story, it's actually useful. I want to share this useful clip with the listeners because it's something
Useful.
I think...
Oh, not taking the piss out of me.
Yeah.
Nice.
Enjoy.
So there you have it. Make your tea, find a comfy spot, and get ready to enjoy episode 100 of the Business Anchors podcast.
We're just a couple of business anchors. Welcome to the Business Anchors podcast. This jingle is slightly too long. This jingle is slightly too long.
Way! It's
Episode 100.
episode 100. Way!
We made it for 100 episodes.
I know. We made it this far. Here's to another 100. Are we?
Yeah.
Do you think we will?
I think we will, yeah.
Another-
It's been...
Another 200?
I don't know. Why?
It's quite a commitment, isn't it? 100 episodes
That
of the
is
Business
that is
Anchors
actually
podcast.
mental.
We've sat talking absolute rubbish 100 times. To be honest, probably a few more, because I think sometimes we had issues with recordings
Yeah.
in the early days, and then we had to do it all over again.
Yeah. Since February 2020.
Yes.
That's...
And today, we have a huge announcement for the Business Anchors podcast.
Yes.
Times are changing. Things are improving and getting exciting. Big announcement. I'm trying to do that thing like on TV where they keep saying it.
It's
So
coming.
They keep you watching and listening, but you never actually... Well, you do. You will find out. You will find out. Or will you? Maybe you'll find out now. Maybe it'll be soon.
Shall we say the big announcement?
Yeah. Or shall we not?
Shall we or not?
Okay.
So, the big announcement for Business Anchors. Are you ready? Drum roll, please, Lloyd.
Lloyd's pregnant.
Oh.
Oh, that one. Okay, sorry. Continue yours.
Business Anchors is now sponsored by Adobe Express.
Whoop, whoop,
Yes.
whoop, whoop.
This is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
We've been using Adobe products for years as a creative agency, and which is why it makes it such a good kind of partnership. And we're now Adobe Express ambassadors, and it's just really exciting for us. So massive shout out to Andy from Content Cal, who kind of made this happen. We're going to be using Adobe Express and sharing our journey with you. One thing I do want to say, though, is that just because we're now sponsored, we're not suddenly going to turn this into a massive advert or anything like that. We're going to kind of carry on as normal.
Yeah, although Adobe Express is the easiest way to create and share, just to point out. I mean, you can create stunning designs and you've got all the support you need. And on the easiest way to create and share, you can get started by choosing from tons of unique and professionally designed templates to inspire and get you started. You can quickly remove backgrounds, convert JPEG to PNG, videos to GIFs, merge a video, change video speed and more. And when it comes to creating stunning designs, you can access the entire diverse royalty-free Adobe stock photo collection created by the world's best professionals within the Adobe Express app. And
all of that from the top of your head.
yeah.
I didn't say we're not going to turn it into an
But
advert.
I mean, when it comes to all the support you need on that, you can discover easy bite-sized tips to get you started on the Learn tab. Feeling stuck? You can shout out to Adobe Express on social and they'll connect you with their support team. So pretty good off the top of my head.
Yeah, you just, all of that. I mean, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
But on a serious note, we are really excited by this, and we are going to be creating lots of content talking about our journey with Adobe Express. And if you want to give Adobe Express a go, then click the link in the description where you can try it for free.
Yeah. You could do things like bring your content to life with animations, apply standout photo effects in seconds, just stuff like that.
Please, you're not going to be doing this throughout, are you? Because this is going to get really annoying.
No, that's the end. Okay. Thanks, Adobe Express. We look forward to working with you in the future.
And also, Lloyd,
Mm-hmm.
as part of our 100 episode celebrations, we're doing something special for you anchors.
Another special for them.
For them, another special thing. We are giving away 100 Business Anchors mugs and Adobe Express merch.
100 and merch.
Yep.
Or if I was listening, I would continue to listen until I found out how I was going to get those things.
Well, do you want to know how you can win one of those, Lloyd?
Now?
Yeah.
Okay.
All you have to do is post somewhere on social media about Business Anchors and then let us know that you've posted and we will send you a mug and some Adobe Express merch.
So if you've been drinking your coffee this morning out from the palm of your hands or, from a bowl or a vase, this could be your chance. By, a few days' time, you could have a mug to drink it out
I
of.
reckon these will be worth millions in like a few years.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is contact us and let us know. And you can contact jay@knowltonmarketing.co.uk. That's JAE@knowltonmarketing.co.uk. And just send us a link to your post about Business Anchors and your address and your name, and we'll post you a Business Anchors mug.
Whoop. Oh, I don't know why I made that noise, but let's get into the good stuff.
Yes.
Dan, what are some of the best bits from the 100 Business Anchors episodes so far?
One of my favourite memories was from episode 1 when the radio voice first came in.
The radio voice.
Well, Lloyd, we're going to listen to the clip now. Take it away.
Okay, let's hear the clip.
So that was a great song there, and do you know what? Today I woke up. It is a Tuesday today, and I thought, oh, Thursday, great. I walked into work, so that having a great Thursday, and they said it's Tuesday. I said, oh, do you know what? I thought it was Thursday. And so give us a call if you've ever had some funny stories where you think it's Wednesday, but actually it's a Friday. We'd love to hear from you. 01843 621 129, and we'll hear your stories after a bit of Baha Men Who Let the Dogs Out.
I do want to clarify. This is current Lloyd speaking now. I don't hate radio DJs as people. It's just I hate listening to them.
That's been throughout though. The radio voice has continued. I think you did it in a recent episode.
Yeah, I think there was a while when it didn't come out, and now we've done a few where it's like top 5, and then you got to do the that knew it at number 2.
Do you know what I find funny looking back at like the production quality and the sound quality and seeing how far it's come?
Yeah, I mean, throughout this episode, when you hear clips back, hopefully you might notice that the quality gradually improves.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear one of my favourite bits?
Yeah, go on, let's hear it.
One of my favourite bits was reminiscing about the story. I don't know if I can say this without this episode getting flagged, but the story of the guy that taught me how to fly a drone commercially, and the dodgy stuff that came up on his laptop.
This is one of my
favourite
stories.
I was trying to learn about flying a drone. Let's hear about it.
When I was training to be a pilot,
Eh?
a drone pilot.
Oh, okay.
That's just what I tell girls when I go out. Yeah, I'm a pilot. Yeah, I've got a Mavic Air drone. Call myself a pilot. But when I was training, the guy, so it was in this hotel.
Oh, I know you told me this. This is so embarrassing.
It was in this hotel, and so the trainers stay in this hotel because they're not local. So we're all there.
Was it like a middle-aged guy?
Yeah, he's probably in his 50s, early 60s, and oh God, if he's listening to this.
No.
I mean, I really enjoyed the training and I really liked you, but this was funny. I don't know if you know this yet. Yeah. He might be listening thinking, what's he going to say about me? And now I'm dragging it out. He's sweating. He's shaking. What's he going to say about me? What did I do? But yeah, so probably like the third day, as a 4-day course, he gets his laptop out. And it's on the big screen behind, ready to learn some drone stuff, some theory. Oh, great. Oh, I can be 30 metres away from takeoff and have to shout, aircraft taking off. That's actually a real thing. But yeah, so he gets his laptop out and he's kind of talking to us all. And and again, it's porn that he was obviously viewing in his hotel room the night before, and he's just talking to us like, yeah, so everyone had a good night, yeah, did you sleep well? Yeah, and it's just behind him on this screen. Yeah.
Just playing.
So today we're going to be learning. We'll get out there with the drones. We'll have a great time. It's kind of, and we're all like,
yeah, you had a great time last night, didn't you?
Yeah. Anyway, move on to do something with your laptop or something. And obviously he went down on his laptop. Kind of, you saw a brief panic, but I think he definitely didn't realise it was on the screen.
Oh, he didn't.
So the brief
Oh, thank
panic,
God.
I think, was kind of like, I think he was like, oh, that was a close one. I could have connected that to the screen behind me.
Oh,
But
God.
so that was a similar
Yeah.
story. And I remember that night, a few of us on the course had a few drinks. Oh, drone friends. Talking drone stuff.
Yeah.
My fellow pilots. And,
You're so sad.
it was kind of like we had a couple of glasses of
Did
wine,
you?
and everyone was kind of like, "Oh, guys, did you notice?" We're like, "Yes, we noticed." God, we all wanted to say it then.
The big butt on the screen. So you had a good time on your drone course then, Lloyd?
I did not as much fun as the instructor, but I did have a good time.
Oh my God, that sounds so awkward.
Yes, I mean, I love thinking back to that. Just the people looking around the room and us all knowing, thinking, why is that on the
I
screen?
love the fact that you said he had a brief panic because he thought that it was just on his laptop, but it was actually behind him on the
you
big
could see the
screen.
brief panic and relief and going, oh, thank God no one saw that. When actually it was on the massive screen behind
And he'll
him.
probably never know.
Yeah, he probably loves those 4 nights away in hotels when he delivers that
I
course.
bet.
It was a great time.
One of my favorite stories was from the episode 6 about the worst business advice. Do you remember about the cows?
Oh, the cows. Yeah, actually since then, I don't drink much cow's milk, but I do drink a bit, which the person that told us this story will like because he thought very bad things were happening to the cows due to vegans. Shall we hear what he thought?
Let's listen to it.
Okay.
A few years back, when I first became vegetarian,
Oh, no, not this one.
was some of the funniest advice that I have ever had. Hopefully you'll find it's funny because I can't stop laughing even thinking about it. I said to a guy, I think I was recently gone vegetarian. He said, "Oh yeah, I get that. I get being vegetarian. Like that's all right because you can still eat like cheese and eggs and milk and stuff. And yeah, I understand that. But and I've always wanted to be vegan, and I kind of go in and out of being vegan because I'm rubbish and I can't stick to it. But he was saying, but vegans." God, that's just stupid. Why would you ever be vegan? And I was, because felt quite uncomfortable at the time, I just sort of went, yeah, why would you? Even though I completely disagreed with everything he was saying. Just trying to not have, not create
conforming, weren't you,
conflict.
Lloyd?
Yeah, God, yeah, vegans. Oh, yeah, I can't believe it. And then his next point, I'm trying to think, was this bad advice? Yes, I think it was because it makes absolutely no sense. So he said, he started talking about...
Was this serious advice as well?
He was deadly serious. There was no element of joking. And he said to me, what I think is really stupid about vegans is, do they not realise that if you don't drink cow's milk, they won't need to milk the cows, and then the cows will just burst. They'll literally burst. And
wasn't this in a business setting, like a really professional?
Yeah. And again, not wanting to cause conflict. I think my reaction was something like, yeah. So the bad advice is, if you're considering being vegan, please don't, because it will cause all of the cows to burst.
The best bit of that is you just going along with it.
Yes, I still avoid conflict even to this day, so I'd probably react the same.
I would pay a lot of money to be a fly on the wall and have seen you just go, yeah.
Just the seriousness in his face. I remember when he was telling me, just like, look at me dead in the eyes. The cows will burst. Just imagine, because obviously plant-based milks have got more popular, and I was driving along the motorway back from a shoot we had recently.
You saw a cow burst?
Yeah, the cows were just bursting in the fields as I went past. So the windscreen wipers were on. So, I mean, I just wish I listened to...
Wish you would have taken that advice.
Or some other name that isn't... Sorry.
You just gave his name away. Editors, can we bleep that out?
Julian. One of my favourite stories wasn't at the time when it happened, but probably would have been Business Anchors podcast number 8. What's the worst experience you've ever had at work? And this story involves a student with nothing but shoes on. Which is a weird sentence to say on a business podcast. Should we find out why, Dan?
Let's find out.
My worst experience was probably running a a summer school for foreign students and working from 6 a.m. till midnight for 7 weeks.
I remember how stressed you were then.
I think we were just so understaffed, and the staff we had weren't as capable as they could have been, that I just had to work 2 people's jobs really. So I think that was not nice to get, but I'm happy I got through that. But that was a terrible experience.
You must have learnt a lot from that.
Yeah, I definitely learned a lot, and a lot. When you learn, occasionally you can learn rather than from, I'm seeing these people do this really good stuff, to this is being done terribly. How would I do it next time?
Yeah.
But also because child welfare was involved. There were children of like
Got a lot of
10,
pressure.
11, 12 years old. So it was kind of like, if we get this wrong, it'd be horrible to think a child could go missing or something.
Yeah.
But so that's obviously quite stressful.
I just thought,
work nearly all of your life and don't sleep, and also there's pressure you could lose someone's child.
I just thought of something really. Sorry, Lloyd.
Just laughing at losing children.
No, story. Didn't your friends prank you and pretend that they
Oh,
were? Please
God.
tell this story, because
Yeah, so at the time that I'm having this terrible time and awake all the hours, I had an emergency phone for, just like I was saying, if a child got lost when we were taking them on a trip to London or something, I'd have this emergency phone. That
our child's
everyone
missing,
called.
help.
And so my friends obviously thought, great idea, let's phone that emergency phone and pretend to be
A host family
that this student's staying with. And they were going, Jose didn't come in last night. And I was really very professionally worrying, but thinking, okay, right, when did you last hear from Jose? Getting all these details, and then so I was panicking, obviously thinking, this is a terrible situation. This 13-year-old Spanish kid's gone missing, and then they called back going, he's just walked back in the house with nothing on except his shoes. And I don't know if he's drunk or on drugs or something. And I was like, oh my God, what has happened? They said he just came in naked other than his shoes. And I was trying to
You believe this whole thing, didn't you?
I'm just trying to think. I was probably 20 at the time as well. So not hugely experienced or mature. Well,
How's this 13-year-old boy?
He's turned up in just his shoes. You know what? They were going, what should we do? He's turned up with no clothes on except his shoes. He's just sat on the sofa in just shoes. And and then I hung up. And kind of saying, well, I'll and then I called back and said, right, I'm just to let you know, I'm going to call the police now because I think it's serious. And then obviously they said, don't, Lloyd, because it's us. And I was like, you. So I've got enough on my plate. And then you're telling me Jose's come back with no clothes on. He's a 14-year-old boy. Yeah, so that was quite stressful, that job. But cheers, guys, if you are listening.
That is a horrible prank.
Yeah, that's a really horrible prank.
That is one of the best stories. I've literally got tears in my eyes just when we played that.
Yeah, when we were listening to that, just to let the listeners know, Dan was laughing in that high-pitched manner that he was throughout that clip. But yeah, thankfully Jose was safe.
Your friends are horrible. That is
yes.
such a nasty prank.
Yes, that was very stressful, that situation. But there are other good bits in that episode of how to deal with bad situations at work, by the way. I feel like we're picking all the strange stories, but there's also really useful stuff around these guys if you want to listen back.
There is some examples later on with more kind of stuff that will teach stuff. Before we get into the actual useful value-adding stuff, I would just want to remind you of you being really cringy when you met Gary V.
Oh, do you know what? I saw this in the notes thinking, oh yeah, we'll talk about this. And I thought, I don't actually even really remember, because I feel like every time this story's told or we go over it again, I just delete it from my mind because it's the cringiest thing ever.
Well, Lloyd, let's refresh your memory.
Oh, brilliant.
So we went to an event, a book event for the Ask Gary V book. It's basically an event where he was interviewed on stage and stuff, and then you could
just
get your
a
book
caveat,
signed.
Lloyd wore a suit.
So at this point, I was still in my pretending to be good at business by dressing extremely formally, because that makes you good at business. So I was doing that, and it got to so we had a good time. I met Gavin Bell, who's the guy in the marketing space.
Yeah.
Met him randomly in the queue in front of us to that event.
He's a really nice guy.
Pointless thing to mention, but hi Gavin, if you're listening.
He's not.
Yeah, probably not. So really good. Gary Vaynerchuk gave a really good talk. Very interesting, and a Q&A part. And for some reason, I put my hand up to ask a question, got picked.
No. Can we give more context? they asked if anyone's going to get up for questions. Lloyd jumped up like an excited child and put his hand up like,
Yeah.
nee, nee, nee.
And so basically, once I'd stood up to ask, my brain went into this weird mode, and I just started saying stuff that made absolutely no sense. So I'll try and recreate.
You've got to watch the
I'll try
video
and recreate
on
what
our
I
YouTube channel.
actually said. Which, oh god, my heart's dropping even thinking of it. I feel so cringy. I just stood
Everyone
up.
turns around and
I
looks
stood
at
up
Lloyd.
and I said
It's
something
silence.
like this.
Gary's there listening to Lloyd's question.
Something like this. So he's expecting a question. I just, I'm wearing a suit. That was it. That's what I said. It was basically that.
Oh my god!
I can't even remember like what I was trying to get from that, but I basically just said.
I remember. Then you gave context as to why you were wearing a suit, didn't you? Didn't you say?
I tried to explain. No, I was saying I was trying to get your attention from wearing a suit, and it worked or something. Because he basically said something like, "Right, you're wearing a suit, dick. That doesn't make you better than anyone else." I think something like that. And I was like, no, I meant I'm wearing a suit to try and get noticed, and you noticed me. Oh god! And it was just the cringiest thing. Eventually got onto my question, and he answered it, but I think was a bit like, don't really want to answer this because you're a twat. But yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Oh my god!
But I basically just, I'm wearing a suit. Why would you do that? It doesn't make any sense. And yeah, so there's video evidence of this because the whole event was filmed. And Dan found the video about a year ago and sent me a link, I think. And I got to the point where I was just about to ask a question and I physically couldn't make myself watch it. I couldn't bring myself to watch
do you know what we
that
should,
again.
as part of this, we should play it and react to it.
No, you can put it in a video for other people to watch. I'm never going to watch that again.
That was as cringy as every time I'm reminded of that story.
I'm wearing a suit.
Oh, imagine that in a massive room full of people. They've all paid to be at this event.
And honestly, if there's any of you that really want to see that, there is a video of this on YouTube somewhere from that event. Ask Gary V book launch in London. Oh,
I'm wearing a suit. Oh, what an
that is the
idiot.
cringiest thing ever.
I hate that. Some of these podcast episode names I'd forgotten were even a thing, but episode 11 was called People Are Weird.
No, do you know what? When we in the early stage of the podcast, we didn't put a huge amount of thought behind what the title was.
No.
I don't know what that. Who would want to listen?
I would say more we were testing different things then. Okay. So People Are Weird, including me and you.
Yeah.
And in that episode, we spoke about, I think it was a bouncer of a club making me feel small and embarrassed,
Inferior.
like quite a lot of them have a reputation of doing.
I'm very excited to listen to this one.
Yeah. Oh, another one to make me sound terrible.
Here we go.
Yes, there was a thing when I was in sixth form at school, so like 16, 17.
What was it called?
A thing called guest list.
Or was that the actual name of the night?
That's the name of the night.
Yeah.
And it was basically a night for people that were that age. So in like doing their, anyway, 16 or 17 or 18. Oh no, it can't have been.
No, it can't have been because you needed ID to get in.
But it was marketed to 16 and 17-year-olds, but you had to be 18 to get in. So I don't know, work that one out. Surprisingly, this place is closed down. And so we basically they kind of hired people within schools. They'd
promote it.
They'd get like the cool kid.
It's so unethical.
Yeah,
Now.
they'd get the cool kid in sixth form, and they'd go, "Oh, sell these. It's like a tenner a ticket. We'll give you £1 for each one." Obviously, they got shitloads of people. That kid earned like
Tenner.
30 quid and made so much profit for these places. And I was like, oh no, I don't turn 18 till after we finish school. I'm one of the young ones in school. Yeah. Oh, don't worry. What they do, you just give them, when they ask for ID, give them any card, and they just like flash it to the cameras so
To
that
look like
if the police ever check the cameras, it looks
Makes
like
sense.
they checked ID.
Completely makes sense.
Genius.
How
So
cool
I
is
was like,
that?
oh, you sure? Okay, yeah, I'll go then. So I'm queuing there. I'm a bit nervous because I'm thinking,
just picture 17-year-old Lloyd.
yeah,
Like at the
and probably two.
in his suit trousers and loafers and dad's shirt.
God, yeah. Looking back at what I was wearing as well, trying to look older.
Sorry, Lloyd.
Yeah,
Carry on.
basically got my school shoes on because I think that makes me look smart. And we're in this queue. Probably 2/3 of my mates were over 18, so they were just fine. Probably even more than that. And I was one of the only ones. I thought, stick with any. Right. Said ID. I thought,
Tried the tash. Tried the soft tash approach.
Yeah, soft tash. Do you want to feel that? No, you want an actual card. So I've got, at this point, I don't even know if they still do them. You had a swipe card to top up the credit.
Orange top up card.
An orange top up card. Sort of gave him a bit of wink. There you go. He just looked up at me. I went, "Are you fucking joking?" And I was like, immediately started sweating profusely. Don't know if I said that word right, but that's what I was doing. And I was kind of like, well, my friend Craig said if I just he was going, "That's a top up card, mate." Do you want my date of birth? 88, not 89. And he was like looking at me, and I was clearly just panicking. I think sweating so much, so red. And then I realised actually he was just a typical bouncer who was just getting a kick out of seeing someone having a negative experience. And he went, "Oh, joking, mate. In you go." I was like, oh, thank you. And I went in.
Oh my god, that was another good one, Lloyd, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You were that bouncer.
Oh, yeah. Have we got any that don't make me sound like a ridiculously embarrassing person?
To be honest, because I've done this, I looked through all the episodes in the order they done. In the early episodes, we told a lot more stories than providing value. Probably because we were less experienced as well at running a business, or slightly less experienced. We stuck with the funny stories and stuff, but there is some more useful stuff. Actually, one of our most popular episodes was all about ethics in business.
I don't even remember it.
It was episode 13, so it was ages ago.
Okay.
But we called it Ethical Dilemmas. And one of the stories we told in that was about a ski trip and you being quite an unethical little boy, Lloyd.
Oh, great. So I've been cringing about how cringy I am.
Yeah.
And now we'll hear about what a terrible person I am.
Yes.
Okay, let's roll the clip.
So, not my proudest moment, but we were in a bar, night out, had a few drinks, and one of the people behind the bar was drinking a lot herself, and it was getting to the point where she couldn't really do her job.
So Lloyd took her home and
no, oh god, it's not. Don't worry, guys. You don't have to stop listening. It's not one of those.
No, but it's not that. But I mean, she was literally standing on the bar.
So I was getting a bit frustrated because, like, trying to get a drink and stuff, and it was taking like an hour because she was too busy doing 5 shots. And then I actually saw, so I was getting a bit annoyed. Bought a couple of rounds, thinking, oh, it's taking ages because drunky over there. And then I saw her manager come over and basically tell her to go home. Because she was just barging all the other people behind the bar, spilling stuff.
It was quite funny.
She forgetting who was ordering, forgetting like who's paid and who. So, and then this is the most unethical thing I can think of that I've ever done. I thought, right, this bar has annoyed me, so I'm going to make the most of this. So I got the manager's attention. I just ordered 4 double rum and cokes from that girl. She just walked off. I've ordered and paid for them, and he just, I'm so sorry. I'll get them for you. So I hadn't ordered or paid for those, but I thought I'm gonna, horrible person. I basically stole 4 drinks, didn't I?
You sneaky little boy.
just for any new listeners, I have a lot of good morals. I'm a good person. That was one little time I dropped the ball there with the old morals, and but it's quite annoying when you're trying to get served and the staff are too drunk to do it.
I love how you were actually really clever and you really thought out how you're going to be unethical as well.
I really think cleverly how I make people think I'm a good person.
Yeah, you're going to manipulate them.
Yeah, I probably even gave those drinks away so people are like, oh, thanks so much.
Yeah, you're such a nice guy.
You're such a nice person for stealing drinks from drunk bar people.
Terrible, Lloyd.
Yeah, that's good.
One of the other episodes, we haven't got a clip of this, but it just reminded me. Do you remember when we did an episode, I think it was episode 19, Are All Accountants Rubbish? With our previous accountants.
Yes, I do remember that.
We had quite a bad experience. We've got amazing accountants now, and we're really happy with them. But we had quite a bad experience, and we talked through our bad experience. And it caused quite an uproar in the accountancy community, Lloyd. Do you remember?
Yes, I do. So the title of the podcast was "Are All Accountants Rubbish?" ? Okay, we're asking a question.
Yeah.
But obviously a lot of accountants saw that and thought we were saying all accountants are rubbish, which actually was our experience up to that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had some, I suppose when you've worked hard in a profession to do a good job and someone has a conversation telling you that you're rubbish, probably doesn't feel that great. But we had like a terrible experience with our previous accountants. It was so bad at what they did. And but yeah, we had a few negative messages from that episode.
Yeah. There was one that I remember just really went in on you in the comments. And
yes, it was really long.
Like a targeted attack against you. It was quite personal as well. Do you remember? And you got quite upset.
Like, really, Lloyd, talking about accountants like this, you should know that you.
Yeah.
Like, oh God. Okay.
Yeah, it's interesting. We've done a few different. Some have been quite divided opinion quite a lot. The thing with marketing, though, when you do divide opinion, it gets lots of attention because the people who agree with it want to listen to it and comment on it, and the people that disagree do the same. So, but I guess we don't want to ever become like the Piers Morgan of marketing, where we just say nasty things. And
no, I suppose that's the only real time that we felt like that, where we said something slightly controversial that wasn't even meant to be controversial.
Yeah.
That really got people going. But yeah, I don't think I could deal with being one of those people that just say things to be controversial.
Everyone's an idiot.
To get attention. Because just that one lady with a long comment, I was like, please, no. We did a podcast episode about my Bitcoin as well, didn't we?
Yes.
For any new listeners, I think at the time it was called something about like how Lloyd lost 4 million in Bitcoin. At the peak of the Bitcoin price, I think it got up to about 12 million. I could have sold it for, but it's dropped again now. But yeah, if you didn't listen to that episode, I lost it, so I don't know where it is. It's on a laptop somewhere.
That was a really interesting one. That was the episode where our first big client that came through the podcast referenced that episode. So it just goes to show, like, because I think over the years we've done lots of episodes about marketing and business, episodes about more like weird stuff, like are we in a simulation? Some of the more weirder episodes you've questioned sometimes, but I think it's good to have variety because different things appeal to different people.
Yeah.
So
hopefully I don't lose the Bitcoin I've currently got, which is worth nowhere near 12 million. Yes. Maybe about 12 quid.
Yeah, a lot less.
Yeah.
One of the episodes early on that did really well, I don't know if you remember this one because you don't remember any episodes. Episode 51 about pricing. I know this sounds a bit more boring, but
definitely.
We did an episode called How the F Do You Decide Your Pricing in Business? And it did really well because we talked through some really practical approaches and basically kind of opened the bonnet of our agency, how we decide our pricing and how our pricing has changed, or the model of our pricing has changed over the years. And there was some really useful stuff in that. And because it's not a funny story, it's actually useful. I want to share this useful clip with the listeners because it's something
useful.
I think.
Oh, not taking the piss out of me.
Yeah.
Nice.
Enjoy.
We've got good friends that give a lot of the advice of increase your prices. And sometimes I think do you think sometimes that's the right thing?
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't do those mathematics and actually don't charge enough. I'll cut my prices when really they actually are providing more value than that. So they should increase their prices. So I think sometimes...
It can be good sometimes.
Sometimes,
but
yeah.
The people out there, I personally believe, that just say it to everyone. Everyone should double their prices right now. Because I've seen that out there a lot.
That's
if you want to improve
terrible
your business,
advice.
double your prices right now, and next year you'll
Be a millionaire.
The problem with that is a lot of people aren't doing a good enough job to justify doubling the prices, so they'll lose all their customers in the next 2 months, and then they'll lose their business, and then they'll lose their house, and then they'll be sad.
Yeah.
I think a much better focus than double your prices is improve what you're focus on time improving what you're doing,
so you
have the
charge
opportunity to increase your prices.
Yeah.
And I don't think we've ever done this, but I read something that I thought was quite a good way of doing this over time. It said something like they had a 50% conversion rate. So if they were pitching for work or whatever, they'd get around 50%.
Yeah.
And they used to just increase their prices by like 5%. Until their conversion rate went under 50%, and then they'd be like, oh, okay, clearly the market's telling me that I'm not that good yet.
We've literally done this.
Oh, have we?
Yes. So with not necessarily that specific.
Oh, okay.
But I remember with our strategy development days that we run.
Oh, yeah.
I remember I delivered a couple, and with people who we really trusted, and they gave feedback afterwards. And this is on the honest truth. They gave feedback and said, "By the way, I would have literally paid double for this. Your way." And this was at the early days when we punched in the mic again.
Hey!
This is the early days, and I thought. Oh really? That's so. What we started to do was, we didn't double the prices, but increase the prices a bit, and then conversion rate didn't drop, and we've since kept going up and up and up until it gets to a point when you do start to realise
What's quite frustrating is that shows we were really undercharging for quite a while.
Do you know why I think that did so well?
Why?
Because it's one of those things that like almost every business along the way questions themselves of like, oh, am I charging too much? Am I not charging enough? It's very relatable. I think we've had it along over the years of wondering, is our pricing where it needs to be? Should it go up? Should it go down?
Yeah.
It's
another episode from that comment that just made me think that did really well on a similar thing is the one we did around how to overcome stress at work. That I wasn't expecting to do that well, but I think because lots of people get stressed at work, and when it's a relatable episode about a problem people have that they want solving.
That was more recently, wasn't it?
Well, yes, but we actually did another one similar around stress and overwhelm or high pressure situations at work.
Oh, okay.
That was ages ago, though.
The listeners probably think I repeat myself because I don't know that I've spoken about stuff before.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, Lord, you said this 2 episodes ago.
Another one more value-adding one that I really think we had lots of great stuff in.
Yeah.
It was more of one where I was talking. I know it's been a lot about you, but the one pitching how to stop being shit at it. It was all about the process because I do all of our pitching to clients and stuff.
Yeah.
It was all about the way we go about that. And so let's just play a clip because hopefully this is useful to people who want to learn more about pitching and sales.
Okay.
If our listeners are pitching or are thinking now, I usually send quotes and now I should be having like a half an hour call where I can pitch to my clients to try and convert more. What can they do to convert more of them? Because that's what everyone's going to want to know.
Number one tip, get way better at the discovery phase. Everything we've said prior to this specific point in the podcast has been about the discovery phase, pretty much. Like the gap selling, and asking the right questions.
Gathering the information you need to actually be able to pitch to someone, basically.
Yes, because what that will do, and as part of that process, you're qualifying as well. You're figuring out if they've got the budget. There's an acronym MAN we've used, means, authority, need. Do they have the means, the budget? Do they have the authority? Are they the decision maker? And if they are, is there anyone else involved? And do they actually have a need for this? By asking the right questions, you really understand, do they actually have a problem that you're the best company to solve that problem? So that's the first thing, really getting better at that discovery phase. Secondly, and this has been where I feel we've really smashed it, in terms of what we're good at. We've done lots of things wrong, but this is where we really are, what we're good at, is put more effort into pre-sales inbound content. So content that is value adding, that helps potential customers get to know you before you even have that discovery call. A huge piece of feedback multiple customers from big brands that we've converted have said to us is, I feel like I knew you before I even spoke to you, and I knew I wanted to work with you before I spoke to you.
There'll be some listening to this now.
Yeah,
it's weird, isn't it? But it's so interesting. And starting a kind of a pitch with someone already feeling like they know you and being bought into you as a person. Because if they listen to your podcast and stuff, or see your content and think they are rubbish at what they do and they
won't
dickheads,
get in touch.
They're not going to want you to pitch.
They've pre-qualified themselves. This is why our conversion rate has been steadily increasing since we've got better at this, because the people who get in touch with you already completely get you, because you've done such a good job with your content of showing your personality, showing the results you achieve, because if you've got a really comprehensive content strategy, you should be sharing case studies and examples and that kind of thing. And they're calling you. They've basically done a lot of the upfront work already. It's basically the opposite of a cold call. Cold call, you have no idea who this person is. Hi, do you want to buy this thing? No way. Don't trust you, don't know you. Even if you've got a good solution, got no trust with you. It's the opposite of that. They've pre-qualified themselves by listening and watching your content. So that's been a huge benefit to us with not just converting more, but getting bigger, better opportunities.
Yeah, so hopefully that's taught you some useful lessons to help you get better at pitching.
Yes.
And I've remembered what the episode was now that we were speaking about a minute ago. The one about stress. It was actually episode 65, how to overcome imposter syndrome and self-doubt.
That's impressive that you remembered that when we had a break from recording this bit.
Yes.
Oh.
Lloyd, don't give our
Good
secrets
memory.
away.
Good memory. I should have mentioned this earlier. One of my favourite ever episodes is actually episode 1.
Is it?
I believe it's episode 1 where we talk about
Networking?
cringy world of networking.
Yeah.
Especially because at that point in the business, we were doing a lot more before the pandemic, and when our business was a bit smaller as well, doing a lot more of those more local networking groups, and we were just having such a laugh about the cringiness of basically everyone going around a room pretending to have a really big business and pretending to be really busy.
Yeah.
Like, oh, how are you? Yeah, busy. Are you, Steve? Because you've been to 5 of these meetings this week and you've had a fry up at each one. Yeah. And then, oh, what about you? Are you busy? Yeah.
I really like that.
So busy.
Because that was the core of what we wanted to do with this podcast at the start, which was talk about the stuff in business that other businessy people didn't talk about. Like when you look on places like TikTok and Insta, everyone's like got fancy cars and the business life. Yeah, it's like like that.
Yeah.
And really, it's a lot of the opposite. It's going to weird breakfast meetings with people that you probably don't want to hang out with because you're hoping that you're going to get some business from them. And we wanted to shine the light on what business networking is actually like. And I think that was a good start to the Business Anchors podcast because it set the scene to actually for us to just talk openly about the weird experience. Like, that just reminded me of the woman that tried to heal you with stones at one of these things.
Yeah. I think I've told that story a few times on the podcast. I actually remember that one, but yeah, it's all that sort of thing. Oh, I'll heal you with these stones for free if you want, because obviously I've said I wasn't buying her service. And then she starts waving them around my head. Oh, do you feel better? And then I just fueled the problem by going, yeah, feel a lot better. So then
do you want more stones around your head?
So I'll ask more people if they want me to heal them. So I made that situation worse, but she'll be fine. She'll be having fry-ups and healing people with stones somewhere.
One of my favourite ever episodes, and the episode I'd actually say, if anyone ever asked me what episode should I listen to from Business Anchors, was episode 73, How to Be Happier. It's called How to Be Happier, backed by science and why happiness is a choice.
Are they ever offended by that? What one would be really appropriate for me? Either episode 73, How to Be Happier, or episode 62, How to Be Better at Life?
Yeah. I'd have better hygiene, episode 19.
How to Deal with Bad Breath, episode 24.
Are you going to listen to that one again, Lloyd? You should do.
Oh, I get the hint.
But that episode was where we talked through from happiness expert Mo Gaudat, who was on the Diary CEO podcast. We talked through all the lessons we learned from that podcast, and it's just some really eye-opening stuff that I feel has genuinely changed my life, and hopefully that episode will change your life. That sounds really cringe, but
if you're going to be cringy, can I be cringy?
Go on, be cringy.
Do you know what I've really enjoyed? Sorry, listeners, if you find this boring, but I've really loved doing this podcast because I get to sit with my brother every week or so and have a good chat. And we're quite busy a lot of the time doing lots of things within the business, but it's nice to sit down with you every so often and talk. And obviously it's weird because Tay and Jay are over there listening to us, which is awkward. I keep hinting for them to leave, but no, please don't. We need you. And we got the lights on. But yeah, it's nice to just slow down the pace and talk to you.
Yeah. It's interesting when you reflect on, we've done 100 episodes, the different things that we've gained. So if anyone's thinking of doing a podcast, this could be useful. So you like sitting down with me and having a chat and stuff. Something I've actually found really valuable from this. I do enjoy sitting down with you and having a chat as well.
Yeah, cool.
And I think we've both got better at this. Doing this podcast every week has helped us improve the way we communicate our ideas eloquently. And not all the time. Sometimes we're just like, oh, what on earth is that? But because we're practicing sharing our ideas, it's like a muscle that you're training and you're fine tuning. And it helps, like, for example, for me, when I'm pitching to clients, when I'm speaking at events, when I'm meeting people for the first time and they're like, what do you do? It's helped me get better at communicating. Or what do you think is going to happen in the marketing space this year? Because I've done 100 episodes talking about that, it helps you communicate your ideas better. And I think both of us have got better at communicating. We've obviously still got stuff to improve.
Yeah, I
Do you think
remember
so or not?
the first few episodes, we had to train me not to just go, yeah, after you'd said sentences that were really useful, and you were probably waiting for me to have a bit of a good response, come back with something really value-adding or witty, and I just go, yeah, and then we'd have a moment of silence.
That was actually a thing. We actually, I think I eventually brought it up just because every time I'd say something like, oh yeah, let's bounce off this, you would just go, yeah.
Whereas now I communicate absolutely perfectly,
Yeah.
and everyone loves listening to me.
Yeah, you have got better though. You definitely have got better.
Thank you.
Is there anything else from doing this podcast that you think has like, because I reckon there's some anchors listening, maybe they might be considering doing a podcast or like creating content and that kind of thing. What do you feel like this helps you in any way?
Probably the money.
Yeah, does help us live a nice life.
No, it's obviously helped our business, bringing in money to the business so we can invest in stuff and grow our team. So that's the simple positive for us. But it's also it's really nice how efficient we've got with creating content. When you do something over and over again and improve the processes, I think it's helped us and our team really get better at doing that. So whatever it is, creating whatever type of content, if you're repeating it, it's kind of like, okay, this process takes 12 minutes. How can we make that take 3 minutes?
How did we do it so that if listeners want to make their processes better, what have we done?
I think it's looking at every single part of the content creation, looking at how long each part takes, and just working out if there's a way to reduce that time or make less people involved in that part of the process. So, for example, Dan and I used to sit down, or we used to go on walks and talk about a podcast episode to prep it. And we used to both talk for like an hour, and then we used to put a document and things, put ideas down and write it all in a document. And that was before the episode. Now we've kind of fine-tuned it. So Dan will come up with several podcast ideas. He'll send it to me and I'll send back my favourite ones. Then Dan will create a prep document and I will add my notes. And it's kind of gone from probably between us prepping for 3 or 4 hours for an episode to us probably prepping for
half an hour.
Yeah.
For that.
And I think so 4 hours to half an hour, and the quality is improved. So that's how I would kind of look at your processes for content creation and get the most you possibly can out of the time and effort that you put in.
And also, I think manage your own expectations, because we've had to go through the motions of doing that massive long prep to figure out how to get better at making what we're doing more efficient. So you're not going to suddenly just start a podcast or do anything and it take half an hour. You need to kind of go through the motions of doing it. And
another example is creating thumbnails for our videos for the podcast. So we used to, after every single podcast, take new pictures to go into a thumbnail of me and Dan doing different things and that kind of thing. And actually fairly recently we realised, hang on, we take like an extra 15 minutes at the end of each episode. And if you think, I know 15 minutes maybe not much, but that's 15 minutes for me, 15 minutes for Dan, 15 minutes for someone taking the picture. So that's 45 minutes a week of time taken just to get those photos.
Yeah.
And then one day we're like, Dan, let's just bring in a few different t-shirts and take loads of pictures in one go. That'll take 20 minutes rather than 15, and we've got enough for 50 episodes.
Yeah. So just a reminder for everyone, we are giving away 100 Business Anchors mugs and Adobe Express merch. So if you want to enter that competition, just post on social media at Business Anchors. Tell us what you think about this podcast, and send an email to j@noltamarketing.co.uk. That's JAE@noltamarketing.co.uk. And we will post you a mug and some Adobe Express merch. That's a good call to action. We've actually got a good call to action for once, Lloyd.
Get yourself a mug. I've got one.
Hey.
I'm pointing to Dan.
But yeah, looking forward to another 100 episodes, Lloyd.
Yes, see you in episode 200. Well, no, obviously I'll be here before then.
Okay.
Next week I will. But in 100 episodes, we'll come back to this clip and think, God, Lloyd's really improved when he used to just ramble and we can end an episode.
Like now.
Yeah, won't we?